We're joined now by Pete Walsh and John Hussar from Traditions at the Glen Resort. Gentlemen, how you doing this morning?
Good. Thanks for having us, Mike.
Good morning.
Now, we have just about a 10-minute segment here to talk about something that's very important to our area and something that people have been talking about for quite some time now. Traditions, after Proposition number 1 passed, and before then, really, you guys have shown some interest in expanding your location to include gaming in a casino. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the plans are over at Traditions?
Well, we're first a little bit skeptical about we always assumed it was going to go down to Tioga Downs.
Sure.
We of course did our due diligence, wanted to make sure that 2 could survive in the area, and I know that it's still out there, that it's a little bit in question, but hired a third-party consultant to come in and do some studies on our market, Tioga County as well. And it was actually quite astounding what he found, is that 2 would be the best scenario for both the southern tier, for both Broome County as well as Tioga County.
Sure. So you guys have been working on this for a while. You said you when you found out about Proposition number 1, as you said, you assumed it would go to Tioga Downs. But once you sort of realized that maybe you could throw your hat into the ring, what was sort of the process behind that as far as planning? John, you're the project manager. Why don't you?
Well, we started with a lot of research. We didn't want to come out of the gate unless we had something that was really strong. We needed to do it right. We wanted to do it right the first time. So we took a little bit of extra time, as Pete said, and did some additional research. When the numbers started coming back and the excitement started growing within our organization, we put together a full-scale plan. And that started with everything from marketing and talking with investors, and the whole mindset of keeping it local. And that's been our big focus as that has evolved. When Proposition 1 came up on the docket, we got behind that. We did some advertising and marketing to support that. And then when it passed, we made a strategic launch to let the community know that this was something we were very serious about doing. And it's been a wild ride since then. The community's lined up behind us. The support has been just astronomical, and it continues to grow every day.
Now, you guys had, we talked a little bit off air about this, you guys on Friday had your first sort of public kind of an open house type of thing of as far as what your plans were for an expansion at your location. How was that? How did everything go with that? How was the public's reaction?
Actually, this was our third event. The first 2 were by invite only, but this one was open to the public. And, we're trying to be transparent about our plans. We want the community to know, every step we're taking, all the progress that we make on a daily basis. So having the community involved and asking questions, making sure, that we are, taking into their considerations as well is a huge part of our plan. And it was great, actually. It was a really good turnout, and everyone that showed up were in great support. And of course, there was some great press coverage as well. So
sure.
helped get the word out there in a great way.
Now, as far as physical changes to the location, we talked a little bit about this. What are we looking at in terms of the expansion?
Well, the existing building right now is about 60,000 square feet on 3 floors. The new building is going to actually be connected to the existing mansion as it is. It's going to be 300,000 square feet on 3 floors with underground parking below that. So it's about 5 times the size of the existing building, and it's going to actually be connected to it. We are going to preserve the existing building, all the existing amenities, and the architecture as well. Pretty much we're just taking what's already there, all the amenities, and expanding upon them. We want to create this destination for people to come from all over the state and, out of state as well.
Now, John, you had said also off air that you want this, you would want this casino to sort of be in addition to the resort as it is. It's not a casino with a resort. It's a resort with gaming in it, correct?
Right, and that's real important. We want the resort to define the casino, not the casino to define the resort. So a lot of our loyal patrons have expressed their concerns and shared with us how they value Traditions as it sits today. They've had their family parties there. Their children have been married there. They use it for their local escape and getaway weekends. And their initial concerns was gaming, and related that to either a pole barn that we're going to slap something up really fast, or that we were going to turn it into a Vegas-style strip with lots of neon and lots of noise, and that's the furthest from the truth. I mean, we're not going to flank you when you come through the door with machines. We're not going to make this an experience where it's all about gaming. We want to keep the small town feel. We want to keep the same type of family focus, and you'll have to go search out gaming. It's not going to jump out at you. So if you're there for a quiet weekend and you want to enjoy some time in our spa or salt sanctuary, or you're there for a family reunion, or you're out for a golf outing, if you don't want to have anything to do with gaming, you'll never see it. But if you want to do gaming, it's going to be a first-class resort and offer that on the gaming floor as well.
Now, you guys have done a lot of research, as you said. What kind of numbers are we looking at as far as infusing money into the economy?
Well, on a revenue standpoint, we're anticipating us in combination with Owego Downs is going to be about $150 million in gaming revenue per year, and that's about $60 million a year to the state. Along with that, we also are expecting 1,000 plus employees directly on site with 500 spin-off kind of jobs, if you will. And that's going to bring $50 to $68 million in annual salaries through those jobs. And some statistics show that about 85% of those employees will be living in county. So, the demand for housing and, it's going to be a great win for the economy overall.
The spillover effect is going to be enormous. I mean, you're bringing in not only 2,000 people from outside of Broome County every day, and of those, we're anticipating 300 are going to be outside the radius of 2 hours. But then you take the money that's being infused back into the community, and you have that, $50 to $68 million of revenue that goes back into the local shops and people that their normal day activities of daily living.
Now, the question I think I have, and some people around here would have, is now you guys are talking about being a casino while Owego Downs is also a casino. What would you say would be, what do you have that makes you, if it was just one casino license that was issued for the Southern Tier, what would be your push to say to somebody in Tioga County who looks at Owego Downs as an opportunity to bring in revenue for this county, which kind of has, let's face it, less opportunities to bring in the big bucks than Broome County? What would be your campaign to say, hey, you know what, this is why we need to have a casino at Traditions?
Well, there's a couple different reasons. For starters, the local businesses that surround Traditions and, in Broome County, there's, all these restaurants, the hotels are running at 50, 60% occupancy. This new traffic is really going to help boost everything outside of Traditions. We have a market that can support all this traffic. So that's going to be a great boost as well. And, it's kind of a misconception. It's not like we're going to be putting Tioga Downs out of business. They're still going to exist as a casino. They're still going to have slot machines, have the racetrack, and actually having two in combination, working together, people can come and stay at either place, stay for a longer weekend, and, kind of try out the other location as well. And they each have different amenities. So, but, our whole purpose is creating a destination with, all the amenities for the entire family.
Sure. Now, the question I have, too, I clearly have a bunch of questions as we've been talking for a little bit here. Now, time just flies right by. But now, you guys, you said it's a little murky as far as the state with deadlines and what the application process is, because it hasn't actually been put into law yet. It will be at the beginning of the year, correct?
Right. So here's what we know. We know that come first of the year, the governor needs to do one final signature. We anticipate that's going to happen within the first 7 to 10 days of the new year. After that, they have 90 days to sit a committee. And then once that committee is sat in place, and that's going to be the committee that reviews the licenses, that committee has 90 days to kick off their RFP for us to respond to. After that, it gets murky. So we don't know if we're running a marathon or we're running a sprint as far as the application process. And that's a challenge from everything from marketing and planning to just strategic development. I mean, we're trying to line up our contractors and things, so when they say go, our stuff is shovel ready, our studies are done, et cetera. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we're doing it right and we're taking our time. So it's kind of a twist. We anticipate and have heard all different types of timelines, that this license could be awarded as early as midsummer. It could be awarded next year. It is an election year coming up, and we think that there's going to be a little bit of pressure to have it done. So, the politicians are approval of seeing what's happening in the state, and hopefully generates that income quick enough for the state that they can tout that benefit.
Now, if people have any questions, you said you still have the kiosk set up at the Oakdale Mall?
Yeah, we have the kiosk at the mall up until the end of the month. But also, our website is a wealth of information. It's www.thinkbigreallybig.com. And, any further questions beyond the information that's on there, people are more than welcome to write us an email, and we'll be quick to respond.
There's also a toll-free phone number on there. If we can't take your call personally, leave a message. We will return phone calls. And as Pete said early on, this whole project is transparent. Our focus on this is, a local project, keeping it local and staying local with all of our vendors and our laborers when it's built, long-term positions and jobs. So we want the community to feel engaged and be able to access at any point. So the website's a great place to start, but we're happy to sit down and talk with you if you've got questions beyond that.
Great. So you guys have anything else? Nate, did you have anything? I didn't want to block you out of this
all
interview.
The questions I had. So good job, Mike.
Is there anything we didn't get to, gentlemen?
No, well, thanks again for having us.
Yeah, well, thanks for
Appreciate
stopping
it.
by. It sounds like you guys have a great plan set forth, and wish you all the best as we find out more information about when everything is going to happen with Proposition number 1 or with the full game. It's 8:23 here on the morning show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your 8:30 news right here on News Radio WEBO.